We are D&M Consulting, a consultancy agency specializing in diversity management for any company wishing to improve its impact. For a number of years now, diversity has been promoted by more and more companies. Some have even set up departments focusing on diversity management, but this is not the case for the majority. However, it is not enough to promote a concept for it to be effectively implemented. This is the case of Alicia, whose story we are going to tell you. She has been working as an asset manager for more than 10 years. She has grown a lot and developed her leadership skills. Alicia is 14 years old and is a business engineer. She currently works at Fonbico, a renowned asset management company. Alicia is satisfied with her position, particularly the attractive salary, but has recently started to question her place within the company. Indeed, she had a conflict with her CEO because of what she said at a meeting with investors. One of the reasons for this is the mental health issue she faces. When she was 25, Alicia was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome coupled with ADHD. This has an impact on her way of being. She has difficulty performing the administrative tasks inherent to her job and is sometimes too full of energy for her colleagues. On the other hand, she brings great added value to the company thanks to her mastery of figures, which enable her to make good investment decisions. In order to improve the working environment of the investment fund's employees, but also to improve relations within the hierarchy, we will propose solutions to be implemented over 1 year and for a budget of €100,000. The first step to be implemented is to estimate the size of the diversity problem within the company. To do so, we propose to conduct individual interviews with an external psychologist who will observe body language as well as the HR way of being. This will allow us to measure the well-being of the employees within the company. Then, an anonymous survey will be carried out thanks to an external company such as Cornferry. It will be composed by an individual questionnaire that will reveal a grade of each employee's skills and a report on the well-being within each team. This survey will allow more introverted employees to freely express what they experience at work. The results will be analyzed to see if there are differences in the answers. If employees are not comfortable in their company, they will tend not to say what they really feel in the HR department. In addition to these measures, we encourage the company to set up conferences on the topic of mental disorders. Since these are not visible, most people do not know what it really means to live with one of these illnesses. Bringing in external people such as ASD speakers would help to increase understanding of these disorders. It will also allow people who haven't been diagnosed to raise questions. In fact, Alicia was diagnosed at the age of 25, which is relatively late because these disorders are generally identified in childhood. Finally, it will show different people that the company is aware of their existence and that is paying attention to them. The last point of our plan is to set up a team building weekend in Scotland. Indeed, the company would rent a castle and on the first day there would be a kind of clue with the different employees. Instead of being in the shoes of Colonel Mustard or Miss Scarlet, each participant would be given a card whose role would correspond to a minority. This will allow a subtle and playful awareness. A concrete technique that the company could implement to avoid such problems in the future is the following one. We will suggest that you set up a committee that will address diversity issues and have the task of setting up the standards that HR and the whole business body will have to comply with. For this committee to have a real impact, it must be set up within the structure and be aligned with the business strategy. The committee will then have the authority and legitimacy to create diversity in the corporate culture of Fonbig Corporation. In terms of recruitment, the committee will be responsible for implementing the rules for selecting resumes without personal data about origin, gender, and so on. Regarding management, the committee will encourage its managers to establish good cohesion in the different departments. Having diversity will have the advantage of confronting ideas, but it can make the dialogue different. Therefore, it will be important to invite each team to participate in events outside the work environment to improve group cohesion. Finally, with respect to Alicia, we think it was just a misunderstanding because of the change in the head of human resources. The solution would be to assign Alicia a member of human resources to help her with administrative tasks. The CEO should only interact with her regarding work, and in case of a conflict, he will have to discuss it with HR, who will have to report it to the committee in the end. We strongly believe that an organization that structures its inclusion will have an increase in diversity. Bear in mind that to have an inclusive plan that is sustainable, one's company has to seek results beyond figures, at the risk of falling into positive discrimination. It is rather about creating diversity so great that clients will want to invest in it in the long run, and most importantly, an environment where the entire workforce feels embraced.